When 17-year-old Lily Carson collapsed during gym class, no one could have guessed the secret growing inside her, one that would unravel a horrifying truth. She was pregnant, but refused to name the father. 2 weeks later, Lily vanished without a trace. Behind the locked doors of a peaceful Maple Glen neighborhood lived Darren Brunner, her 46-year-old married neighbor, and the last man anyone suspected. To the world, he was helpful, harmless. But inside his garage, and deep in the woods beyond town, a chilling secret was buried. This is the story of a girl who trusted the wrong person and paid for it with her life. Maple Glen was the kind of town where nothing truly bad ever seemed to happen. Families walked their dogs along tree-lined streets. Kids rode bikes until the sun dipped behind rooftops. People left their doors unlocked. It was the kind of place that appeared safe, comfortable, predictable. But in September of 2022, that illusion was shattered. Lily Carson was a quiet 17-year-old who lived on Hemlock Lane, a cul-de-sac just outside of the town center. Lived in a modest duplex with her single mother, Rachel. Her father had left when she was 8, and since then, it had been just the two of them. Rachel worked long hours as a nurse at the local clinic, often on night shifts, and Lily spent a lot of time alone. She was the kind of teenager who didn't draw attention to herself. She got decent grades, helped her neighbors carry groceries, and volunteered at the animal shelter every Saturday. Her teachers described her as sweet but distant. Her classmates barely noticed her. She wasn't on social media much, and she never dated. That all changed when Lily fainted during gym class on a warm Tuesday afternoon. When she woke up in the nurse's office, a routine checkup revealed something unexpected. She was pregnant, and not just a little. She was already well into her second trimester. The school counselor contacted her mother. Rumors spread like wildfire. Students whispered in hallways. Teachers exchanged worried glances. When asked who the father was, Lily refused to say. She was firm, quiet, but firm. She was going to keep the baby. And that was the end of the conversation. But it wasn't the end. Not even close. For weeks, speculation consumed Maple Glen, who had gotten Lily Carson pregnant. She barely spoke to anyone her age. She wasn't involved in any after-school activities. She never had a boyfriend. Mystery turned from schoolyard gossip to a town-wide obsession. But behind Lily's silence was a secret she had been carrying for almost a year. The father of her unborn child wasn't a student. He wasn't even close to her age. It was Darren Brunner, the Carsons' next-door neighbor. Darren was 46. He lived with his wife, Emily, in the house connected to the Carsons by a thin shared wall. The Brunners had lived there for over a decade. Their 2 sons had moved out years ago, and the couple mostly kept to themselves. Darren worked at a hardware store in town, and Emily worked from home as an accountant. Over the years, Darren had become friendly with Lily and her mom. He'd mow their lawn if their mower broke, fix a leaky faucet, bring over leftovers when Emily made too much. On the surface, he was a helpful, generous neighbor, but Lily's private journal told a very different story. Investigators would later learn that Darren began grooming Lily when she was just 16. He started by offering her rides to school. When her mom's car wouldn't start, he'd linger in conversations a little too long, compliment her in ways that felt different. She wrote about how she didn't understand what was happening at first, how Darren made her feel special, seen, important. Then the relationship turned physical. It began with a kiss in his garage, then secret meetings when Emily was away, then hotel rooms outside town. Darren promised her he would leave his wife, that they could build a life together. She didn't need to worry. When Lily discovered she was pregnant, she told Darren first. She wrote that he had looked stunned, then terrified. He told her to keep it secret. He'd handle it, but weeks passed, and Darren began avoiding her. He stopped replying to texts, avoided eye contact when they passed in the driveway. Lily wrote that she was scared, not just about the baby, but about what Darren might do if she told anyone. And then, just as suddenly as the rumors had started, Lily vanished. On the morning of October 18th, Rachel Carson knocked on Lily's bedroom door. It was 7:15 a.m., and Lily hadn't come down for breakfast. The door was unlocked. Her bed was made. Her backpack was gone. But her phone, wallet, and prenatal vitamins were still on the nightstand. Rachel immediately called the police. Within hours, search teams were combing the neighborhood. Drones scanned the nearby forest. Police questioned neighbors, friends, teachers. No one had seen Lily since the night before. The last confirmed sighting was at 7:30 p.m. Walking home from corner store, her disappearance made local news. Volunteers handed out flyers. Candlelight vigils were held. Social media exploded with theories. Some thought she ran away to avoid raising a baby alone. Others believed she had been trafficked, but Rachel insisted her daughter would never leave. Without saying goodbye, something had happened to her. She was sure of it. Suspicion fell on the Bruners almost immediately. Rachel mentioned Darren's sudden distance. A neighbor reported seeing Darren and Lily arguing in the backyard 2 weeks earlier. But when police knocked on the Bruners' door, Darren calmly denied everything. He hadn't spoken to Lily in months, he claimed. His wife backed him up. With no physical evidence, no probable cause, and no warrant, police couldn't search the house. But 2 weeks later, a hunter walking through Foxwood Preserve miles from Hemlock Lane noticed something unusual. A patch of earth had been recently disturbed beneath a fallen tree. Curious, he took a closer look. Scrap of fabric was visible in the dirt. It was a shallow grave. The body inside was confirmed to be Lily Carson. She was partially decomposed, wrapped in a plastic shower curtain. Her limbs were bent unnaturally. Her fingernails were broken. Her autopsy revealed signs of strangulation. There were bruises on her wrists and neck. She had been dead for approximately 13 days. She was also 7 months pregnant. Inside her jeans pocket was a small, folded piece of notebook paper. Despite water damage, part of the writing remained legible. It read, "If anything happens to me, look at the man next door." The break police had been waiting for. With the note as evidence, they secured a search warrant for the Bruners' home. Inside Darren's garage, they found duct tape matching the kind used to bind Lily's wrists. In the basement, they discovered the same brand of shower curtain she had been buried in, but there was still no DNA, no fingerprints, no direct connection between Darren and the murder. He maintained his innocence, said he had been framed, claimed Lily had mental health issues, and had once accused a teacher of stalking her. His wife stood by him. Public opinion was divided. Half the town believed he was guilty. The other half believed Lily had fabricated the entire affair. A paternity test on the fetus yielded a match. The baby's father was Darren Brunner, 99.98% certainty. Confronted with the results, Darren's story unraveled, confessed, though not in a courtroom. In a taped interrogation, he admitted to the affair and to killing Lily. He said he hadn't planned to hurt her, but when she threatened to tell his wife, he panicked. He lured her into his truck late at night. He had already dug the grave days before. He thought he had covered his tracks. He had deleted all their texts, cleaned the garage, burned her diary. But he hadn't known she left behind that one note. A single sentence that brought it all crashing down. Darren Brunner was sentenced to life in prison without the possibility of parole. His wife divorced him. His sons cut all contact. The Brunner home was sold to a young couple who had never heard of the tragedy. Rachel Carson created the Lily Foundation, which offers support to teenage victims of coercion and abuse. Every year, on the anniversary of Lily's death, the town holds a candlelight vigil in her memory. Maple Glen will never forget what happened, because sometimes the greatest threats don't come from strangers in the dark. Sometimes they live right next door.